It's the hunting gear guy here again. Today I'm taking a look at the new Remington 783. This is a new rifle into the market by Remington. It's a budget class rifle, coming in under $400 in most stores. And it's not really designed to compete with the likes of the Remington 700 or anything like that, but more along competing with the Savage Axis and the Ruger American. Some of the things to note, this is pretty much an improved Marlin XL7 or XS7. This particular one's long action is a 270. A lot of similarities, a lot of good stuff in this rifle, a lot of stuff that that Savage has been doing for a while, and some improvements as well. The bolt itself is really pretty smooth. Some of the examples I saw at the store weren't all that smooth, so your mileage might vary on this one, but this particular one, not bad at all. I took it out shooting, didn't oil it one bit, and it worked fairly well. With a little bit of oil, now it's nice and slick. That noise isn't from the bolt, it's just from this CNC machined dummy bullet I've got here. But very smooth. There's a couple of features I really like on this rifle, just starting with the bolt. It's got this release on the side here, and it is just, it's awesome. This is how releases should work on every rifle. Push it down, bolt comes out, that's it. It's one way, so if you were to slide the bolt back in again, it'll stay in, and you won't have to pull the trigger or anything silly like that. The bolt itself, let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. Again, departing a little bit from the Remington 700, getting closer to a Savage in terms of the extractor, the ejector, the way that the bolt head's constructed. A couple other things just on the striker assembly. Also very Marlin-esque, given that they both have the same parent company. I guess you kind of expect that. Again, the bolt slips right in there. No pulling the trigger, just push it in. It's one way, it won't come out unless you push that bolt release. So that's kind of cool. The other really cool thing about this rifle, and probably the one thing it's got way over the axis, it comes with a decent trigger. You know, one of the things I dislike about the Axis was that it comes with a fairly rough, gritty trigger. This one comes with the new Remington trigger, which is kind of a take on the Marlin one, which is kind of a take on the Savage one, except that this one, unlike a Savage, you can pull the trigger without pulling the little loop in front there, and it won't decock it, it won't make it so you can't fire it again. You can pull there, it won't do anything. You have to pull the lever before getting to the trigger to fire it. That's kind of cool. Other than that, you know, it's just a really good serviceable trigger. So that's awesome. You know, you'd either have to do some modifications to your rifle or buy an aftermarket trigger afterwards to kind of lighten up a typical one. So that's all right. Something I'm not really a big fan of, this safety over here. I'm more used to like a Tang safety, nice quiet one. This one's fairly clicky. I don't know if you can hear that. That's on safety. Imagine yourself coming up on a deer and pull this forward. Pretty loud. You can ride it to make it a little bit quieter, but it seems like that detent in there still is going to give you a little bit of sound. So no such luck getting a nice silent safety like on the Axis. There is still a little bit of noise with this one, but it is very positive. You definitely know when it's on safe or off. On safety, it doesn't lock the bolt. It still leaves it open. You know, some guys like their safety to lock their bolt so that they can put it on, they can sling up their rifle and not lose any rounds. Personally, I kind of like just having it on safety all the time until I'm ready to shoot, even if that means loading up another round. So I prefer this system a little bit more. Just in terms of other features on this rifle, one that I wasn't really a fan of, these sling studs suck. They're plastic molded in. They don't give a full range of motion like a typical sling stud does. And they're plastic. You know, I don't know, maybe this is me just being old-fashioned on this feature, and maybe it's something that'll catch on eventually, but I kind of like my sling studs to be metal. It's a small surface area. It's binding on something that's metal. I don't know if this is gonna stand up to abuse or not, so I don't know, I guess time will tell. One thing that is cool about this thing, this butt pad is a nice squishy one. A lot of those budget rifle manufacturers have been putting on these like hockey puck butt pads, so it's nice that you know, Remington put something on that was a little bit squishier on this one. Just in another favorite aspect that I have about this rifle is that it's got probably the best magazine of all the budget rifles. Now, there's nothing really fancy about it, and compared to some of the nicer rifle magazines, it's actually not all that fantastic, but just in its own budget segment, it is better. It's got this nice, beefy metal rib on the back. Let's see if I can get that. Come on. There we go. And it is solid, and when it grabs into the magazine recess, there is just no mistaking that it's in there. Let's just get that a little bit better framed. So mag here, I'm just going to slap this thing in and show you guys how fast it is. You can't do that with the Axis, and with the, you know, I tried the Ruger American. I just wasn't really enthused with its retention mechanism. It's got a tiny little plastic nub on the back. It's not really confidence inspiring. This one's got this nice big steel plate kind of on the back here. It's got this, you know, metal springy plastic thing on the front, just like an Axis does, but the back is nice and solid, and like I said, it just jumps right in there. Something that is a little bit tougher in the Axis and isn't really confidence inspiring in the Ruger American. So it's nice to see that it does it well. I've got a short video here to show you guys just of me shooting a rifle. Again, I got about a 1 MOA with it, and I have yet to do some more testing. I imagine with a little bit more testing, I'm going to be getting about 3/4 or so. But watch the video. Keep in mind, I did shoot it without putting any oil at all into the bolt, and that was after firing about 50 or 60 rounds. So it is a little bit dry, and it still performs really well. It's still not all that rough. If you're going to buy one of these rifles, I'd really recommend that you check out a couple of different ones at your local gun shop, so you can find one that has a nice smooth bolt, not one that's going to bind up or give you a lot of trouble. Adriel, the hunting gear guy here again. I just wanted to show the smoothness of this this bolt. This is the Remington 783. As you can see, not all that bad.